What's going on, guys? Chase with iDub Hockey. I'm here today with Audrey Malka, who is the Senior Product Manager of Protective and Head and Face for CCM Hockey. Audrey, thanks for joining us today. We've got the very, very exciting new Super Tacks X helmet in front of us. There's so much I want to cover today, mostly on the inside, but for the player shopping by fit online, how would you describe the fit profile of the Super Tacks X before?
Hi, so great to be here, even though it's virtual. We have this amazing innovative helmet coming out this year. The Super Tacks X is unlike any other helmet on the market, really. It's the most elite helmet that CCM has ever launched, and it introduces this great new technology in the liner. So unlike traditional foams and different layers of foam that have built into helmet liners over the past multiple years, we've integrated this 3D printed liner that you can see has incredible conforming fit. So as far as a fit profile, this would be the most forgiving as far as any other helmet, because the fact that it wraps the head and conforms to the head all the way around, and there's really very few to no gaps in coverage within the liner.
Right, and that's like we talked about off camera, that's the big wow factor, is that liner and how it fits to your head as soon as you put it on. And like you mentioned, it is adjustable. So if you have an oblong or a round head, it's still going to give you that great fit. So let's talk about the 3D printed liner. It's nothing like anyone's ever seen in a helmet before. So can you quickly walk us through what 3D printing is and what has that allowed you to do in the Super Tacks X that you haven't been able to do in the past?
Well, traditionally, as we said, there have been all different types of foams that have evolved throughout the years to develop different layers and levels of protection in helmets as the game has evolved. So, we've seen basically like your traditional foams and then rate sensitive foams such as our D3O and other types of technologies that were more to counter acceleration and rotational forces that may occur around the head. And what's new with what we call Nestec Liner that's found in the Super Tacks X is, as I said, it's a 3D printed lattice, and this is an engineered type of liner as opposed to a manufactured foam. So it's not just something cut out and made to fit inside the helmet. We really worked together and partnered with Carbon, who's already demonstrated their abilities to develop a really high level elite type of protection in sports with their Riddell football helmet. And both our engineers and theirs partnered up and really worked on this amazing algorithm to develop a liner that's basically the densities, the geometries, the thickness, and really the forgivingness, as I said, of this liner in all the key areas allow for it to provide the best possible protection in all those key areas that are important for an elite level of play in hockey.
What makes it so incredible, as I was doing research on Carbon and your partnership here, is that since it is engineered and not manufactured, you basically had unlimited options of how to build the inside of the liner, and through the rigorous testing that you did both in real life and on the computer, that this is the ultimate out of everything you could come up with. So that's why I really think, in terms of breathability, comfort, and protection, it's going to be hard to surpass this with, all the tools that you guys have at your disposal. So, we talked about protection and how you're able to, engineer it to really provide that key impact protection in key areas. But something else that you've mentioned that NHL players really seem to, go towards is the breathability factor of it. So, can you touch on it a little bit more about what makes it so cool and breathable?
Yeah, so aside from the incredible fit and comfort that you get with this new helmet, and of course the elite level of protection, that's the most important, what was really an amazing, incredible benefit of this liner is, like you said, the breathability. So through the construction of this liner, as you can see, there are kind of holes built throughout, and the densities and geometries allow for a lot of channels that create breathability. Mm-hmm. And what happens is the minute you step on the ice, you have an incredible amount of airflow, unlike anything else. That allows for your hot air as you're sweating and obviously heating up as you play to basically rise up and leave, and the cool air to enter and keep you cool. And in our studies, both with the University of Ottawa and, specialists in the field, we've seen, and it's been proven, that keeping a cool head essentially allows for your heart rate to stay lower, allows for you to sweat less, which means you have to rehydrate less. And it basically keeps you performing at your best throughout your game. So from the beginning to the end of your shift, but also from the beginning to the end of the game, you're going to be at your peak performance. And that has been amazing, to see, because we've seen it proven time and time again. And I think the ultimate proof in the pudding, shall we say, is when we saw Seth Jones play in 5 overtimes in the playoffs last summer, and he was wearing this technology. So, I mean, he's a workhorse for sure, but I think that was a great testament to his ability to just keep a cool head and keep his performance at the top, at its peak throughout all those minutes of play, over 65 minutes on ice. And at the end of the game, when he was interviewed and he was asked, how do you feel? He said, I feel good. Because that's just one piece of the puzzle, of course, but it really speaks highly to how great you feel wearing this helmet on the ice.
For sure. It's going to be hard to out-test that level of stamina, especially in a game like that. So the reason why I wanted to touch on breathability as we kind of finished up in that Nest Liner is because we still have so much more technology that we've seen in your flagship helmets through the years. So, I would imagine most people have heard of D3O, but can you talk to me a little bit about where you included it and what that does do for the player on top of, what we have going on in the Nest as well?
Yeah, of course. So in conjunction with the Nestec, what we have, as you can see, is the D3O, so that pop of orange in key areas, so the temples mostly, and then throughout the top of the head. So potentially areas where you might sustain impact, and that D3O is a rate-sensitive material, so it's a foam that is, soft to the touch, but it reacts differently when it's impacted, so that when you, do receive any kind of impact, it will basically help to distribute that energy away from the head. And of course, that's what you want. You want to feel as little, of that pressure as possible. So that's the reason we embedded that as well. And it's really quite a recognizable technology as well that we carry throughout many of our products.
For sure. And, last but definitely not least in this is your customization kits that are going to be available aftermarket. So, I've seen online more and more players are wanting to customize their helmets. So can you just walk me through a couple little places where you're going to be able to customize that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing to point out is the Super Tacks X is basically an upgraded version of our latest Tacks 910 helmet. And some of the upgrades that you see on the shell include the chrome finish logo on the front and on the side, on the adjustment doors on the sides. But also some of the hardware, you'll see it's more premium with a flat finish, just giving it a really all around more elite and premium look. So the kit that you're referring to is an aftermarket kit, as you mentioned, and it includes your ear loops, which would have a different color insert, as well as your front logo, which would be a matching insert color, and your side logos, those would be stickers. So what that allows you to do is, as you've seen, it's a trend. We see the pros doing it more and more. So they want to try and match their jersey colors, to have that secondary color pop on their helmet as well. So we have it available in the top 6 colors as a separate kit. And it also includes a contrasting chin strap. So you can have that white chin strap if you want to have that extra pop of kind of retro vibe color as well.
Definitely. Yeah. If you're trying to go for that OV or that Connor McDavid look, that's typically where I see people asking the most about it. Well, Audrey, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit down with us and cover the Super Tacks X helmet.
Pleasure. Nice to be here.
All right. And then for you at home that want to check out more of these, all the different color options and the customization options, make sure you go to icewarehouse.com.